Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Samri. Today I'm going to have a story time for you, which was requested by some, and it's a subject that's very dear to me. So I used to be an activist, an Ethiopian activist, because, you know, there's a dictatorship in Ethiopia. There has been one for over 25 years now. It was I think about 6 years ago, I posted a video talking about politics because there's this stigma, especially around, I think, Africans, that younger generation people don't really need to talk about politics, or they don't really have a right to talk about politics since they don't live in their country. And I decided that day that enough was enough, and that, you know, you're not dictated by anyone on what you're allowed to talk about or what society thinks that you should talk about. So it was the 13th of November 2013, and I will always remember that date. I don't have to refer back to that date because I will always remember it. I remember watching on television, they were migrant, Christian Ethiopians that were beheaded by ISIS men in Libya. And, they were brutally murdered for the simple reason of being a Christian. So for me, I've always had that debate, with my mother or with my friends, that it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, or where you come from. As long as you're a nice person, I don't think that we should be told who to be friends with or who to work with, or, just do the simple tasks with. Just because you're a Muslim or a Christian or a Hindu or whatever, your religion shouldn't define you. Your religion is a part of you, but it should not define you as a person. So I remember crying for hours. I couldn't understand it. Unfortunately, it's true that it's because it came to Ethiopians that I perhaps mourned it a bit more, which is a bit sad to say. But it's true that when it comes to your people, you don't want to see that. And I know for a fact that Ethiopians have been faced with a harsh reality of enduring pain, brutality, and severe heartache by the government to just leave the country and become, let's say, inner slaves, to Arabs. When I say that is because I know for a fact that there's a big number of Ethiopians and Eritreans that are transported from Ethiopia to Saudi Arabia, Libya, and many other countries, for the simple task of being housemaids. But what you don't know is that they don't just do household chores. They are cut, they are verbally assaulted, they are mentally and physically assaulted as well. And there's just so much that the media doesn't show. And this is one reason why I don't really appreciate people asking me, I don't really appreciate just people telling me, oh, you're from Ethiopia, that poor country. First of all, it's true that there was famine. There is still famine in some part of Ethiopia, but that's not just what we are. We are so much more than that. But at that point, I thought, you know what? I don't see any young people being advocates for their country. At that time, there was no one. This was back in 2013, and it was a bit of a cliche to talk about it on Facebook. And I used to be on Facebook because before all of the Instagram used to be, the biggest social media, or YouTube or whatever, I used to be on Facebook more often. So I thought, let me just post a video just to show that, you're not alone. Even if you're young and 19, which I was back at the time, you are allowed to speak about it. You're allowed to speak your truth, and you're allowed to think together of solutions to help your people. And so I released a video, a poem called My Heart Cries to You, which is a sad poem about Ethiopians tortured in Saudi Arabia, and talking basically about just everything that I really, just told you. And I slept that day, and I remembered I woke up in the morning and I had hundreds of messages. I had hundreds of heartbreaking messages, but also really positive, about young people who wanted to take action and who thought that I did something good for the community. So I thought at that time, why not, create more videos and really do content where people will will have value from. So I started posting poetry because I write spoken words and I write poetry. I think it's an amazing way to convey a message, without by being lyrical, but also by putting important message inside. So I started posting videos every week, and then it started from 10,000 views to 400,000 views. And I thought, oh my God, I'm really touching some people. There must be something that I'm doing right, surely. There was good, but there was bad as well. I remember because Ethiopia at that time, it was mainly led by a tribe that tried to overtake everyone else. So the people from that tribe that were in the government would come after me, they would message me. I received death threats. They said I shouldn't live in this world. Why should I talk about politics? I'm just a woman. Yes, and that's another thing. I am a woman, but I'm a woman in the 20th century. Why am I not allowed? Why 21st century? Why am I not allowed to talk about what I want? You shouldn't be classified. Oh, you're a woman, you should talk about this. Or you're a man and you should talk about it. No, I was really strong at that time, and I just kept talking. And even though I was receiving a lot of hate, I would just talk. And I remember the first time that I went back to Ethiopia, even though my poems were in English, there were so many Ethiopian kids that came to me at the market, the first week that I arrived, and they said, Samra, we've watched your videos, and your videos mean so much to us. I mean, you're going to change our country. And my grandmother at that time thought that it was just Facebook, and even my mother, they thought it was just social media. You're just posting videos. You're not doing anything. Little did they know, like, those videos meant so much to so many. And now that I think about it, it makes me want to cry a little bit, because I wonder why I stopped. It was 2 years of hard work. And so I posted those videos and posted it. And then one day, and then I went to protests as well. So I used to protest every week against the government that used to take journalists. They used to take the journalists, kill their families. I mean, it was really disastrous. I mean, when I think about the things that they used to do, and I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of anger built inside, but I was not afraid. I was not afraid. I was not afraid to talk. I was not afraid to say how it was. And even if I talked about something and it was wrong, I would admit it was wrong, it was a mistake, but I would talk. I would not stop. And so this continued for 2 years. And the reason I'm even making this story time today is because a lot of you messaged me on Facebook, because I stopped going on Facebook for about 2 years now. But since I released my first video, a lot of you messaged me and, told me, oh, Samri, you're back. We missed you so much. Where have you been? Why did you stop? What happened? So I didn't know that I was affecting that many people. And so I thought it would be nice to the new subscribers to know what I was and what I used to do and what my beliefs are, and, that I don't just think about makeup or going out. And that's not me. There's so much more to me than being a girly girl. I really believe that we should all be proud of who we are and what we are, where we come from. Our roots define what we do and the path that we'll take in the future. And I also believe that this society really lacks of activists, and not only activists to talk about what's wrong with this society, but what we can do to improve it, And I was thinking, actually, that it is something that I may have to start again. And I think YouTube is a great platform for that. Now, when I started YouTube again this year and I released my Get to Know Me video, I wasn't really sure of what I wanted to do, or I knew that I wanted to entertain people. I knew that I wanted to make you laugh, or, just do things to entertain. But my friend gave me a very good advice after my second video, and he told me, whenever he does videos, he wants to add value to it. So then I slept on it, and it just made me think about everything that I used to do, 5 years ago. And I think that's the content that I want to do now. I just want YouTube to be a platform for the young people, to be a community, and to help each other out, to understand more about life and maybe more about Africa, because I don't really see that in the entertainment or the vlogs or the blogs. I don't really see people talking about African culture and African community or what we can do to help the people, and I think it's necessary. So I thought this story time couldn't come at a better time. So I remember that I used to protest every week. I used to record videos every week. I used to organize donations every week. Go to the church every week and just stay with the community. I used to go to Parliament, and I used to physically be in Parliament, and we used to tackle real life problems, and we used to find solutions for it. And I remember the thrive that I had when I used to leave Parliament, just thinking, oh my God, I did something for my country, or I did something for my people. And so now I think I've matured enough. I was 19. I was 19 at the time, and I did so much. I was very mature for my age, but I think that with my experience now, I could use this platform to just do good and just do better, and to learn about myself, to learn about you, and that you teach me things, and that we teach each other things, and we just learn ways to improve our life and to add value. And I think that's necessary. So that's a little video just to show you really what I'm about. I think I've now chosen pretty much the theme. I'm just gonna go back to what I used to do. This is me, I think being an activist is so important. It's not just for the word, you're an activist. No, it's that you actually do so much. You don't realize that you do. But even doing a video and helping someone and teaching them something about your country or another country, or maybe you do know the amount of people that have changed their minds. They used to think a certain way. They used to, discriminate against other people, against other tribes. And even after a few months or after a year, they used to come back to me and tell me, Samri, you were right. By watching you over the last few months, I've come to an understanding that you can't be narrow-minded. You have to be open-minded. You have to think bigger than the picture. And I think that's what I'm going to do again, because that feeling, that great feeling of, opening the eyes to someone, like, I want that again. So I hope that you enjoyed this story time about me, that used to be an activist for Ethiopia 5 years ago. I will see you soon with another video.